let the bucket saga begin. You know, I got a bunch of different companies, a bunch of different buckets, a bunch of different stuff. Just sort of working through what works, what doesn't. I got some buckets from Lowe's, which I don't really like very much. I've tried, so I have a bunch of 5-gallon buckets. I got my original Adams. I got some that I ordered online. This is kind of off-white, so it's not nice looking. I also don't like how sort of the top looks as much. Then I have some from Uline that I bought, and then sort of testing the difference between just wash a 6 and a 6 and a 7 gallon bucket. And one of the things that's kind of cool about the 7-gallon bucket is that the grit guard doesn't go all the way in, because see how it sort of narrows out, so the grit guard only makes it to here. But again, I've never had an issue with scratching anyways with a 5-gallon bucket. So here's the 6-gallon. I think what I'm going to do, I don't like the quality of this 6-gallon. I don't like the look of this 7-gallon. I don't like this look. So, you know, my favorite bucket out of all of these is this one. Just as far as the quality, the cleanliness, the whiteness, you know, the bottom of the bucket. See, one thing you don't take for granted is that some buckets have sort of junky sort of edges. So, you know, this has been my favorite bucket from Letica. So what I think my solution is 6-gallon. See, that's a different company. Buy a couple of 6-gallon buckets in this company and see what they look like. But you know, my vision is this: to get the grit guard dollies. Now these are really expensive. These are $40 a piece. After I ordered it, I should have just ordered a whole bucket set. I think it was less. But I wanted $3, so I want one for my bucket, my wash or my wheel bucket, and then I want the 2 connected for my wash. I don't really like sealing my buckets up, so I don't really like doing anything. I just like to look at the gamma seal and how it sort of completes the top of it. So this is the old sort of original grit guard. Let's see if I can get some wheels out. They've been in here for a long time. Diamond plate, as you guys know, and so why don't I just flip the thing over so the diamond plate isn't facing the top. Alright, so I'm going to polish this thing up before I put it in there. I'm going to go wash it, and then maybe get the metal cleaner out, clean this sucker up. So notice the other thing I did was upgrade from the 2-inch to the 3-inch wheels. And as far as I can tell, grit guard is like the only thing in town. These are bucket dolly, but these sort of the metal solution here, they rust up. And then they have these little rubber pieces that I've lost half of them. It just doesn't work as well as the new grit guard solution, which is a plastic sort of plug that'll be really easy to adjust. Make sure the bucket's sitting in tightly. But really what I wanted was to stop all this confusion that I have, where I keep having to look at the bucket. I'm going to know that, well, what do we have? Blue is wash and green and blue is wash and red is rinse, and there will be no question. So I'm going to have, you know, a red label, a red gamma seal surround, and then a red insert. So again, there won't be any question about that. So why don't I take one of my 15 buckets here and go wash this thing off. And all this really is a piece of aluminum. This engine cleaner certainly isn't as gentle on my hands as the other stuff that we use. I'm kind of pumped to now have the time that I'm not building anything to just do like little projects like this. Use some good old-fashioned Mother's. Oh shoot, maybe not. Ugh. Apparently this stuff has a shelf life. Let's see if it still works. Could be the last use of this crap, so I might as well lay it on thick. Oops, that's a little much. Don't use that much. Alright, how clean is this getting? It's going in the trash. Towel's been with me a long time. Alright, I guess I've gotten used to the lights in here because I'm getting a headache. I'm going to burn out my retinas or something. Alright, so these are the 3-inch wheels from the Rickard buckets. What I'm going to do is I'll put probably, I don't know if I'll do white or black. Probably white, do a white Obsessing garage sticker on the front. One, two. Those 3 inches are going to work together. Yes, it's all right. Yeah, that works all right. Let's do this. So make sure the locking one comes outside. Not that it really matters because I never lock it. I mean, we're going to do not these buckets. 6-gallon buckets, and then you just come from all 3 sides and tighten it up so it grips the bucket in place. It also grips the grit guard in place too. The grit guard doesn't come out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to just ditch these things. I'm certain that I bucket, blue logo on the blue dolly. I have the red with the red gamma seal on this side. And we're going to rinse and wash. And the nice thing about the 6-gallon bucket is I notice one of the problems with taller dollies is it cuts half my logo off. So I mean, you'd have to put it up a little higher, but even then you still don't have quite enough room. Yeah. I think 6-gallon it is. I can wheel it around as well. I'll just have 3 sort of matching 6 gallons, all with gamma seals on the top. Figured I'd share that with you guys so you can see what goes into some of this stuff. You know, if you care. Another thing I'm doing is, and you know, to be honest with you guys, I'm not doing this for you, it's doing this for me. I'd be doing this with or without, you know, Obsessing Garage, or with or without a video channel, or with or without the ability to sell this stuff. I just want, you know, to me this is something that I use very often, something that I, you know, want to be, you know, as dialed in as possible. I want it to look a certain way. Now that, you know, now that I have the brand, I figure I might as well put my own brand on it. You know, same thing with bottles. You know, we have all these different types of bottles, Chemtech, you know, the ammo bottles. You know, this is sort of the common spray nozzle, which I hate these. You know, this is what Adams uses on ammo. I mean, they work, but they're nowhere near as good. And part of the reason why I've held on to my Griot's bottles forever is because of the sprayer. And I mean, I think that there could be a better sprayer than this one, but this is the best sprayer that I've ever found. It was just sort of a Chinese-made sprayer. I've done a little bit of research and sort of dug around a little bit. It'd be cool if I could get a blue one, you know, blue. I haven't been able to find this particular type of sprayer, but you know, I've read things about, you know, a Plexi or whatever PEX bottles. I dropped it on the ground purposely a couple of times. I mean, Carpro bottles are done in these, but I think this one looks the best. Super shiny. Putting like an Obsessing Garage logo on here. Putting you know, wheel cleaner, and then on the back, what I'm going to do is do a label on the back of the bottle that sort of matches the front, I think, and then we'll sort of be able to write in what the, you know, what the actual chemical is. So, you know, ultimately what I'd like to have is that, you know, anytime I get or try something new, you know, to have all of the bottles, all of the stuff would go into my own bottle so it all matches, and then it'll have labeled, and it'll have sort of labeled what it is. Now, sort of something like Hydrate would be sort of a generic. I would just sort of call it detail spray. It would have Obsessing Garage, and on the back I'd write, you know, ammo Hydrate. Would probably be what I do. You know, Hydrate's kind of a bad example because it's sort of a hybrid product. But what I'll probably end up doing, because, you know, I'm guessing you guys are going to want to buy this stuff too, is I'll probably just make a sheet with, you know, a bunch of sort of vinyl stickers on it, where you'll have, you know, the sheet will have 5 detail sprays, 5, you know, have a bunch of different names for all the different potential products we have, so you could put it sort of on the bottom. So I'm still working that out. I know you guys are super excited. Don't expect this to happen anytime soon. It's going to be a while before I want to test the bottles. Last thing I want to do is buy a bunch of bottles and then sell them to you guys, and then they don't work, or they break, or we have issues. So I put glass cleaner, because that's one of the things I always end up using, and it's cheap to just sort of throw in a bottle and sort of test, you know, which one feels the best, which one works the best. You know, drop them on the ground, test them out, see how they work, make sure that they hold up, and don't create problems. The other thing that's a little weird, you know, I like the cleanliness of the round, but the sort of the function of this just sort of fits in my hand a little better. Having the sort of the longer neck. I actually kind of like the shorter neck that the Griots have, but I can't find those, so maybe they have those made. And plus the bottle, you know, sort of the bottle doesn't graduate, and so it connects, you know, right at a sort of a right angle. So having a little bit longer helps, you know, sort of hold it a little bit better. But, you know, this one sort of feels the best in my hand. I like the idea of having a nice sort of clear bottle so I can see, versus a sort of translucent bottle like this one. But these are, you know, certainly more pliable. But I mean, I've read and heard, and people have said that some of these bottles tend to be problematic. I mean, maybe there's a reason why people don't use them. I mean, Carpro seems to have success with them. But this one, for whatever reason, I'm going to call a company that I found and see, you know, this isn't as sort of polished and shiny. Maybe they just gave me a you know, one off the bottom of the shelf or something. In comparison, they're supposed, you know, they're the same material. but one is super dialed and the other one is all kind of funky looking. So I'm not sure, maybe that's the way that it goes, but I mean, this one's polished, clean. I mean, I think they're the same, they're made from the same stuff, but maybe they're not. So I just don't see how this is going to become a problem. I mean, again, I dropped it from this high 3 or 4 times out there and no issues. So those are a couple of the things that I'm working on, just sort of for fun, and because I want to have it. So when I mentioned I was doing this, I really didn't have any intention of selling this stuff, but now that sort of the feedback and the sort of the buzz about it, on some of the social media outlets, I probably will just make this stuff and sell it. I mean, why not? Make it easier for you guys than giving you links to 7 different places to go get everything. Just put it all in one spot, and make it reasonably priced. I'll make a few bucks off of it to make it worth my time, worth my while. I'll drill some holes in this. Just put a couple of holes, probably one in each section. This is what I'm obsessing over right now, and hopefully I'll come to some sort of resolution in the not too distant future. I'm going to go in and order some 6-gallon buckets to try to see if I can find the exact 6 gallons that I want. Then I'll do another video and sort of update you on where I'm at. I think I'm pretty definite it's going to be one of these 3 bottles, and like I said, I'm pretty certain it's this, unless I can get this with a cleaner look, so it doesn't look so junky. Again, you can't see it on the camera, but this one just looks like foggy and beat up in comparison to this. Looks polished and super clean. I'm looking through it, almost looks like glass. I even ordered a couple of glass bottles, but that's not going to work. Anyway, I get that this is crazy. Stay tuned for more of it. I'll have some. Thanks, guys.